We got a small issue over here because if you remember, we actually overridden this one. This one is going to be king size. So before we proceed with the second file extension, how about we actually update the first one? So I'm going to take this opportunity to explain the third way on how you can update your file. We already said you simply save and save. That's the first one. Is the second one we said right click it and it's going to be Hotlink module, update module, okay? But you also got a third way, which is going to be through the Hotlink module manager, which is this option over here. If you got the place Hotlink module over here, simply navigate a little bit below and you get the module manager. Let's activate this one real quick. And as the name implies, this is where you can, in first place, you can visualize the status of the different modules. As you can notice over here, we have modified the king size file, okay? And it's going to tell you that this file has been modified, okay? It's also going to give you the Hotlink modules right over here, which models you have linked in your master project. In the typical floor plan, you got two different modules, okay? This window over here is something I want to comment in a separate manner, the different options we got over here. So let's simply put this in a pause for now. But the third way to update your model would be to simply visualize which model is outdated. You select it and you hit the update option right over here. Simply hit this. It's going to update this. Okay, let's press OK. And ArchiCAD is going to proceed and update all the modules. So right over here, you can notice that all the individual beds have changed to a king size bed. Okay, so let's proceed now and actually link the missing rooms we got over here as a second module. If this is our first module, what we want to do now is link the second module. Let's proceed with File, External Content, place Hotlink once again. For this case, we want to select a different type of model. So let's go ahead and set the press change model over here. Okay, let's hit new module from File, and now let's proceed and select room number 2, individual set. Let's select this file. Okay, all stories, press OK. And now you can select which type of model you want to link. For this case, it's going to be room number 2. Let's press select. And there it is. We simply proceed now to specify the layer. You can leave the layer as default. Modules, well, modules in Spanish, but it's the modules layer. The master ID, make sure you change this. If this is going to be model number 1, make sure you switch this to model number 2 or something else. Let's place the Hotlink. Let's see how it's going to behave. Most likely, once you press OK, what's going to happen is that it's going to position this at the origin. So we got an issue over here because we don't want to these two models to be overlinked one on top of each other. So make sure you press left click inside the marquee you got over here and make sure you move this around a little bit over here. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect for now. We can make sure that we position this correctly in a second. Make sure you position your mouse outside of the marquee and press enter. Okay, so it's going to link your next module. Now you can simply take the module, rotate this all together, no worries over here. And yeah, you simply activate the move command and make sure you position this in the corner right over here. Okay, so now we can say that, yeah, it's pretty much done, but I still feel that we can select this and maybe activate the mirror command. So don't worry, it's still going to behave properly once we create changes. Even if you mirror the modules, everything is going to work properly. Okay, let's finally select the module, Ctrl U, let's press OK, and let's create the final copies over here. So yeah, now we got our typical floor plan. Let's see how it behaves in 3D, and there it is. We got the different rooms linked in our typical floor plan. Yeah, we got an issue over here because I didn't notice at which height I positioned the bed, so let's fix this real quick, and plus let's test this out real quick. Let's open up the room number 2 file. And don't forget that you have to open this as a new instance of ArchiCAD if you want to work on 2 different projects simultaneously. Also keep in mind that this is an amazing way to start working on your project collaboratively speaking, because what you can do is you yourself or somebody else, one person can manage the typical floor plan or can manage the master file, and another colleague or the BIM modeler can work separately on a file. So each time the BIM modeler generates a change, you simply ask for the file from the BIM modeler, you copy the file to your computer, you replace it, and ArchiCAD is going to work the magic for you. Okay, so this is just an amazing way on how you can work your projects collaboratively. Okay, let's proceed and simply fix this real quick. Let's select this, okay, and let's make sure that these ones are actually on the level 0, not 1.8, exactly on level 0. There it is, okay. So let's simply proceed, file, save, so we overwrite the old version of the file. Now let's go into typical floor plan. Let's see if we can save this in a 3D view. If I remember well, it's possible. It's going to update everything. Let's simply test it out. File, save. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to work in a 3D view. So let's test it out also once again in ground floor. File, save. Yes, if you notice, it's clear as it is. It's not going to work in 3D view. It's not going to give you the outdated window, but if you save the file in a ground floor, it's going to update everything. If you want to proceed in 3D, what you can also try is right click it, Hotlink module, and update the module. So this is a possible way in 3D, but if you simply want to save everything, you have to do this in the ground floor. Okay, and there it is. If you notice, the 5 different modules have been completely updated. So hopefully with this I can make it clear the general workflow with Hotlinks. As you notice, it's quite simple. It has some nice tricks that we have to keep in mind, and the best thing is that you can work on your project separately and link everything in a master project and also manage the master project separately. As always, take some time, make sure you practice these concepts as best as possible, and in the next lesson we can proceed with the next topic.